Well, have you heard of and I forget what they call it. There's a term for this, but basically, I mean, if you look at evolution and the fossil record and just things that we've seen and observed on the planet, it's not fully filled out, but we're getting a decent shot at the picture of how it could have all happened. I mean, sometimes we have to be a little bit of a detective and say, well, if we found the dead body in the house and the knife was sitting right there and it had blood on it and the person was killed with a knife and your fingerprints are on the knife, we think you did it. Now, technically, we didn't see you do it, but all the evidence points that way. So there's a lot of evidence that says that life started here, or at least evolved here, I should say. One of the things that is a theory about how it started here, though, is if it started on another planet, like let's say it started on Venus or Mars, and then something happened to migrate it over to Earth. And what I mean by that is not like aliens or intelligent life, but we know that certain microscopic organisms can endure being in space. There have been tardigrades that have been sent up in space. Now it looks like they go dormant, but when they're given what they need to live back on the planet, they spring back to life.
Okay.
So that could have happened here. And my question is whether that actually happened, like life started on another planet and then migrated here, or life started here. Did it just happen once? Or did it happen multiple times?
Okay. So are you saying, so for one, like say if there was like an asteroid or something that crashed into Venus and then that ejected material landed on Earth and then that kind of, okay. I could.
Because the reason why I'm asking if it happened more than once, either life started here more than once, or came from another planet more than once. We have things like octopuses. So the thing is that we can kind of trace ourselves back to us all starting from the same point because we share DNA. I mean, like, I think it's something like 50% of our DNA we share with a banana. So we know that there was a common single-celled organism at some point that we have, a common ancestor to. But with octopuses, it's only like 69%, which is pretty low.
Yeah.
And so the question is did life start multiple times on this planet? Like maybe in pool A it started and then in pool B it started and then we evolved from there and maybe there was some crossbreeding? Or did it start from asteroid A and asteroid B and they hit the planet maybe not even at the same time and started a little bit of life over on this side of the planet and then started a little bit of life over on this side of the planet?
Okay. Okay, both of those options seem pretty viable. I could go with that.
You buy into that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously you had to start somewhere, but I mean, I would throw in a third mix that possibly there was, life happened. Maybe there was a catastrophe on Earth, so, like an asteroid or something, that wiped out that existing life, but also brought new life. So at the same time that there was some destruction, there was also a rebuild or a rebirth of life also coming in. But I don't know. But, both of those sound, pretty viable.
Well, I want to say as our technology gets better and better, we not only have the ability to send probes out and explore space, whether it's just our solar system or more eventually, but we are also building bigger and more powerful telescopes, whether those telescopes are on Earth or in space or maybe someday on the moon. we're seeing more and more of our universe.
Yeah.
And, it feels like in sci-fi, the way it works is we get to a certain level of technology and then aliens will stop by and go, hey, you're about to travel faster than light. And so we figured before you go out there and see us, we're just going to stop by and say hello. But my thought process is what if we like spot intelligent life out in the solar system through one of our space telescopes? I mean, there's a Hubble Space Telescope, which is famous, but there's also the what is it, the Chandra Space Telescope? Have you heard about that one? And then most recently, there's the Webb, the James Webb Space Telescope. And have you ever heard of this thing called the Cardiff scale? Cardiff scale. I probably say that name wrong. I'm terrible with names. But the point is that he came up with a scale of 4 types of intelligent life, and he based it all off of what their level of technology is, and their level of technology with the ability to consume or use energy. So a type 1 civilization on the scale would be defined as someone who can harness all the energy that reaches their home planet. So we're not even a type 1 yet.
Okay.
But like if we could take, like, let's say all the cosmic radiation and all of the energy from the sun and anything else coming in to our planet and the planet itself, if we could use all of that, then we would be a type 1. But a type 2 would be a civilization that's capable of harnessing all of the radiation and energy from its own star. So imagine being so technologically advanced that you could use a star as a power source and harness all of the energy from the star.
Yeah.
And then a type 3 civilization would be someone who, or a civilization that is able to use all of the energy from its own galaxy.
Oh, wow.
So that would be somebody who, that would be a group that could harness all the stars and all the planets and all the forces of gravity and things like that. But now, and then they said a type 4, I think and I'm not 100% sure which way he was going with this one, but he says is impossible. I believe he's saying all the known energy everywhere. But a type 4 wouldn't exist because then we probably wouldn't exist because they would have removed our energy. Okay, well, whatever. But my point with all of this is that he's saying that that he believes that if we increase our consumption of energy by 3% a year, that we may obtain type 1 status in anywhere from 100 to 200 years. But we won't obtain type 2 status for a few thousand years. And if we ever was able to survive long enough to get type 3 status, maybe anywhere from 100,000 to 1,000,000 years. But the thing is that we know that our solar system is like 13.8, or I'm sorry, the universe is 13.8 billion years old. And we know our planet is billions of years old. At least I think our last estimate is like 4.63 billion years old. So the question is there could have been entire solar systems that arose and maybe don't exist anymore before our planet ever came about, which means there could be intelligent life that's billions of years old. So they maybe would have obtained one of these levels.
Yeah. Okay.
And the question is with all the new space telescopes, do you think we might see them?
I don't know.
Because imagine this. Imagine if they were a type 2 civilization and they could harness all the power from their own star.
Right.
There's another guy that talked about this, and he said that we might be able to look up in the sky and see them doing it. And he talked about a great sphere that would be built around the star, or even
Like a
rings.
black hole.
Well, or even rings around the star that would be harnessing the energy
Mm-hmm.
and then storing it or sending it to whatever these aliens or civilization is using them for. And everyone called it a Dyson sphere. So if there are intelligent species out there and they've been around for millions of years,
Mm-hmm.
I just have the feeling that sooner or later we're going to look up and we're going to watch a star go out.
Mm-hmm.
Or we're going to be looking at a part of space that science and math says should be full of stars and planets.
Mm-hmm.
But when we look at it, there's nothing there.
Okay.
Because if they were using all of the energy, not even light would escape.
Yeah, right.
So it would just look like a dark area to us.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. It's kind of terrifying, but interesting to think about.
That somebody could be so advanced to use the
yeah,
energy
yeah.
of a star.
Yeah. But however, I do feel like, because when people think about life outside of the universe, most people feel like that humans, like in Earthlings, are kind of like the top of that, but we're pretty efficient, like inefficient beings. Like when you come to think about it, we need sleep, we need food, like there's all these emotions that,
Sure.
we have, where you probably have another being that doesn't need all those.
Maybe they've evolved to a state where they don't need it,
Yeah.
or maybe their technology assists them somehow.
Right.